Welcome back to Easy Honor, where we will be discussing the absolute simplest way to dispose of the Scrying Eye, find loot hiding under boulders, Harper storyline features you might not have pieced together. And by the way, did you know you
Anything
can
to
actually
that
kill these two Dwargar by
absolute
slipping
dwarf, you
poison
think?
into Magmar's stained cask near the bottom of the
Dwarf
stairs?
son, if you ask
Skik
me.
Pit will deliver their special drink and can even help you plan it all out if you are in his favor.
Keep a blade close.
Down this hall, past the stairs, there's a hidden room with a chest in it. But don't forget to look back in the dark corner. There's a couple of smoke powder satchels that are easy to overlook.
What are we here?
After finding the hidden button in the feast hall, we moved down this hall toward the ochre jelly as we were cruising through the doorway and up the stairs to investigate the dripping slime. If we pass a perception check and then actually notice the loose stone, we can move the stone out of the way for some quick goodies. Potion of Greater Healing and Glorious Vaulting? Not bad. In other videos, I've demonstrated the use of mundane items, like skulls and bottles, but while fighting the ochre jelly, I discovered a wonderfully satisfying use of the common bone. I recommend this for anyone who wants to try a thrower build. I became so frustrated that my barbarian couldn't damage the jelly at the top of the staircase, I got fed up and decided to throw a useless bone at the jelly, which promptly knocked it prone. I'm not really certain how a jelly can be prone, but it was immensely satisfying. Take note that I have Karlach set up as a tavern brawler, along with little gems like the Ring of Flinging. If you have ever wondered what the heck to do with myconid flesh, give it a toss at your enemies or throw it at traps. Pretty sizable and won't be destroyed. Heck, fling it down a Grim from a height and let me know what happens. Found on the skeleton of a Sharn Inquisitor in the abandoned refuge not far beyond the ochre jelly is the undelivered letter from Sybil to Ketheric Thorn regarding a Harper's chest. The note points out the Harper's chest is found on a rocky overlook, but it is trapped. The Harper continually cries out Lux Splenda while tortured, and Sybil seems to miss the point, along with many players, that this is how to disarm the trapped chest. A successful investigation check will have your character comment to try a light spell on the chest. Now, if you have played through the game before, you know there's a Harper's chest hidden among some mimics. Let's skip over there real quick to see this trick in action. When dealing with the mimics, you might be tempted to just knock them off the cliff, but I wouldn't recommend it as you'll miss out on some incredibly good loot. In order to do double damage with your lightning attacks, first make the water spell level 2 in order to get both these guys wet, and make sure to do it after the cutscene when they transform as the wet transition appears to have disappeared. They are resistant to physical, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and their tongue has an incredibly impressive range of 40 feet. They do some acid damage as well, which will reduce your AC by 2, and they'll pull you in closer so they can bite you. Best thing to do is hit them with magical attacks, or take your time and whittle them down from far away. Hypnotic pattern is great as you can incapacitate these guys and make life easier on yourself. Once defeated, you will find the Wondrous Gloves, which are a great find for any bard, which I happen to be. These gloves will increase your AC by 1 and grant you an additional use of bardic inspiration. There is also a Bow of the Banshee that can frighten targets on a hit and grant you a 1d4 bonus to attack and damage rolls against frightened creatures, a great weapon for a ranger. Finally, a successful perception check reveals a toy chest, which upon use reveals the hidden but trapped Harper's chest. Now is the time to cast a simple light spell cantrip and discover the trapped chest has been disarmed. I believe you can pick up the key for this chest off the skeleton mentioned earlier, so you won't need to overcome the lockpicking DC check of 20. Otherwise, you'll likely want Astarion along for the ride this time. The actual contents aren't all that great, except for a story flavor, as we realize how much the Harpers risked to descend deep into the Underdark to uncover what Ketheric Thorn was up to as a Paladin of Shar. Heading back to the corner of the docks, we make our way up to fight the Hellboars. Using the tarnished key found on a hanging skeleton nearby, we'll open up the double doors leading to a fight against these fiendish beasts. Defeating the Hellboars will get you the Firestoker, which may not seem too impressive until you realize it is a hand crossbow. If you've never dual-wielded crossbows as a bard or ranger, I would highly recommend it, as this is the path to one of the highest damage-dealing builds in the game. This crossbow is about on par with a +1 hand crossbow, better if you can light creatures on fire and make them burn. And perhaps the best hand crossbow you can find until you reach Ygir and the Gauntlet of Shar, or trade with Roa Moonglow at Moonrise Tower. Both of those crossbows aren't available though until much later in Act 2. If you combine hellfire, it can become a lethal combination. You want to use the Firestoker when you know you're going to be setting creatures to burn. Not just doing fire damage, but creating the burn condition on them. Things like summoning a fire elemental, lighting up some oil barrels, swinging the rupturing blade, or Kerwin's cauterizer can cause the burn condition. Throwing orthonic hand bombs, alchemist fire, or orca jelly slime will do the same with an area effect. Much later in the game, the Helldust Armor, the Cindermoth Cloak, and the Amulet of Elemental Torment will play right into your hands as well. Now, finally, the reason you decided to watch this video in the first place, we're going to show you the valuable ring you might have overlooked and discuss the absolute simplest way to eliminate the Scyring Eye of Grymforge. If you are enjoying my content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe as we're just getting started and could use your support. So I brought along a Sucer Bloom to Grymforge to disable the animated armor near the forge, and quickly discovered that the Scrying Eye just wouldn't leave me alone. I thought this eye glued to my hip was pretty annoying at first because it simply doesn't make sense. The Scrying Eye should just poof into non-existence if it gets too close to an anti-magic field. It is pure magic. But of course that would just be too easy. It is also hard to loot and plunder with the eye following you around everywhere. I finally came to the realization that this was actually the best possible outcome I could have hoped for, as I can simply walk over to any ledge of the Underdark and send the eye into oblivion.
What to do?
I was over here by the docks when the realization struck, so I decided to get rid of it quick. The fetish of Kalar Duran Smooth Hands is also here on the corpse of a deep gnome, and it grants invisibility for 10 rounds, which makes it a valuable addition to any stealth build. I find that we simply talk to these Dwergar, getting rid of the dead and deep gnomes, and pass a check. We are going to convince these guys to leave us alone, so not only will we easily loot the ring, but have the privacy we need to get rid of the Scrying Eye. Once alone with the eye, a simple Thunderwave spell is more than enough to send it into a cold, watery grave. So make sure to bring a Sucer Bloom with you to Grymforge, and then just casually walk wherever you prefer to dispose of the eye. Nothing could be more simple. So, just in this corner of the map, at the cost of defeating a few jellies and hellbores, we picked up the One Ring, an exceptionally handy crossbow, globs of ooze which can set people to burning, 2 smoke powder satchels hiding in a dark corner, and an entire keg of smoke powder. The next video will be how to defeat Nier without him ever activating his psionic visage, so be sure to subscribe so you never have to miss out on another easy honor video.